experience emptiness or nothingness during awakening process. The reason why we're experiencing this kind of feelings of emptiness, as if there is nothing there, is because of the identification actually falling apart, ego construct falling apart. Because to think about it, let's say if you have experienced any kind of trauma as a child, or if you have been exposed to societal pressures and conditioning, if you have been discriminated, or if you have experienced, and we all have experienced something that taught us that we can't be authentic self, then during that process of growth, we have built an ego construct around us, ego construct. And that ego construct, that's an unhealed ego, that ego construct can be incredibly claustrophobic, that it's incredibly controlling, incredibly belittling in places. There is a fear in that construct. There is a sense, perhaps for some of us, some of you, sense of not being good enough or being fundamentally bad. And we build identifications around those ideas. We do build identification around those ego constructs, and that ego construct isn't even ours. So what's happening during awakening process is that ego construct is slowly but surely dismantling. It's falling apart. So as you can imagine, if your whole life has been built and controlled by this ego construct, which is unhealed ego, and that ego starts collapsing, or it has collapsed, then of course we're going to be feeling this kind of sensation of nothingness, because there's nothing there. But you see, in that nothingness, there is also everything. Everything lives in that nothingness. So nothingness isn't empty, but that's how we might experience this phenomena when ego construct collapse, or when the ego construct has tipped, the point has tipped towards soul realization and full awakening. And that place is bliss. It's a blissful state of being, but also it can be really kind of maybe confusing and kind of disorientating for many people who are going through awakening process. But that emptiness that we start experiencing, that nothingness that some people refer to, is phenomenal experience. It's a sign that we are on the right path, that we can start from afresh, or we can remember in that space a true divinity, because before, when we were kind of surrounded by this egoic construct, this claustrophobic place that was filled with fear, pain, suffering, limiting beliefs, and all sorts of different illusions, as you know yourself. Once that's gone, then suddenly we are exposed with this freedom that we are not used to. Our soul is suddenly free, and it can feel like, oh my gosh, there's nothing there, because there is nothing there. But that nothingness refers to, well, there is no ego, like there is nothing there, there is no identities, there is no reality, so to speak. And suddenly, once we relax, once we acknowledge that we are safe in that space, what we can experience is this huge euphoria, this vastness, unity, enlightenment, nirvana, connection with all. And in that moment we can fully and truly accept ourselves for who we truly are. We in that space of so-called nothingness, or in that empty space which is nothing but empty, or it's nothing but nothingness, because it's so rich, it's so full, it's full of potentiality. Everything that ever happened, and everything that ever was created, that ever will be created, lives in that space that we called our experience sometimes as emptiness or nothingness. It's like suddenly this door opens to this huge, endless candy shop, and you can go in and pick and choose any reality that you want. We can go in and pick any belief system, any identity, any reality that we truly want. And usually what we are picking when we are in there is something that's going to benefit humanity, something that we can bring in, so to speak, and manifest. So from unmanifested, from this space of nothingness, of emptiness, which is really rich with possibilities, we are bringing from that unmanifested place something into this manifested world that's going to benefit all of humanity. And that is our purpose. So once the door opens, we start remembering why we have chosen to reincarnate onto this beautiful world, onto this beautiful planet. We start remembering. It can be anything. It can be you suddenly realizing that you have talent for writing a book, for example, and that's something you need to do, to leave a legacy for for yourself, for future generations, to refer to help them awaken. Or you might realize, oh my gosh, my purpose is to be a teacher, so that's what I'm going to do. Or my purpose is to be a Buddhist monk. It's anything to do with offerings to humanity. We are moving from the place of where we feel and think that we are lacking, so where we are creating from this kind of place of, oh, what is in there for me, what is in there for me, how can I benefit myself, through this awakening process, and entering this vast space that's incredibly alive and wants to give and wants to be manifested into our reality. We switch from what is in there for me, but what is in there, in this pool of possibilities, I can bring down through me. I can be a vessel. What is it that I came here to bring, to help humanity and help human evolution and human transformation, because the whole world, as you know, is waiting for us to awaken. Everything else in existence is already awake except us humans, and that is our evolution journey to enlighten, to be enlightened beings, to reach nirvana. And we don't need to wait to transcend to reach enlightenment or to experience nirvana. We can experience it right now in this moment while we are embodied in our beautiful bodies. And the way there is through accepting our wholeness fully and completely, and allowing ourselves to be in that space that some do refer to as nothingness or vastness or emptiness. But that space is our fertile ground. That's where we need to be. That's this limitless consciousness. It's cosmos, it's creation, it's source. That's what it is. And it's full of potentiality. There is you can't be limited in that space. You can bring down and manifest anything that you want, if the intentions are for the manifested to be of benefit to human evolution. That's what we're experiencing, that space that can be confusing for the reasons that I explained, but it's a space of complete, total freedom to be and to bring what's needed for everyone's evolution and liberation from pain and suffering, so we can all experience freedom that comes with it. Thank you very much. Namaste.